In this video, I will show you a new tool we are working on here at Rorohiko called Action Recorder. Action Recorder allows you to record actions and changes you perform in InDesign and save them. You can then replay and reuse these recordings to bulk perform repetitive actions. First, let me say that this tool is completely unfinished and very much a work in progress. However, we have decided to release it already as a free beta so that we can get some user feedback. In particular, we are looking for critical feature requests as well as stories of where this tool may come in handy. To make our first recording, we will select an object on the page to record, and then click the Start Recording button in the bottom left corner of the palette. First, I will add a stroke. Then I might rotate the image and add some corner options. To finish recording, just hit the Finish Recording button in the bottom left corner of the palette. As you can see, the recording has populated the commands list on the left of the panel. Commands are the single steps that make up a recording. You can drag commands to reorder them, and you can remove commands that you do not need. In this particular example, the Action Recorder recorded each corner option as I cycled through them. I'm only interested in the last corner option I selected, so I can safely remove these previous ones. This will also make my action playback faster. Now that we have recorded the action, we can select other items on the page and play back our recording. This is what allows us to perform a large number of steps in just seconds. To apply an action, just select the Apply Selected Action button in the bottom right of the corner. Some commands can be edited after a recording. For example, we may wish to modify the recording to set the stroke color to yellow instead. We can simply select the associated command and change it. To add a new action to the current set, we can hit the plus button underneath the action list. If you have two or more actions in a set, the icon with the two ticks applies the entire set, while the icon with the single tick applies just the selected action. For an example of this, I will now record a second action. This is a basic action that just moves the selected object slightly to the right. I can apply the action by itself by clicking the single tick, or I can apply the action and the previous action that we recorded by applying the entire set using the double ticks. You will notice that actions have a multiplier next to them. This allows you to repeat an action more than once. There are a few instances where this can be useful. If we take a look at our move action, we may configure it to move an object exactly 1 inch to the left. However, in some cases, we may wish to move something 3 inches or 5 inches to the left. Rather than recording a new action, we can simply apply a multiplier, and this means the action will be applied 5 times. We can combine these multipliers with Action Recorder's ability to record the creation of objects to create grid-like structures. Now we'll create a grid of rectangles. First we'll create the starting rectangle. This is the rectangle that we will create all the other rectangles relative to. Let's record the creation of the relative rectangles. If I apply a 3 times multiplier to this creation of rectangles will be repeated 3 times. And just like that, I have my first row in a grid. To have the grid automatically jump to the next row, we need to add another action. It is important to start with the last rectangle in the previous row selected, so that the relative placement of the next row makes sense. And just like that, I've created a small action set that automatically allows me to add rows to a grid. Action Recorder also records some menu actions and keyboard shortcuts. This allows us to generate cool patterns using the copy and paste and place commands. We'll generate a pattern now. The action is almost ready to go, but we have one more step to do. Action Recorder has recorded too much information here. It's recorded the paste and place command, but it's also recorded that we created a rectangle. Since paste and place will already create a rectangle in this case, this next action is pointless. In fact, our pattern won't work if we leave it in there, so we need to remove it. Now our action is ready to go. Let's set a multiplier of 10 and try it out. Action Recorder has generated a pretty cool pattern for us. We can play around with this. We can set it to use a different anchor point, or perhaps a different shape altogether. We can also change the colours of our action. And the angles. Once we are happy with our action, we can easily share this action with other people. You can export a set or import a set using Action Recorder, or export and import separate actions. If you wish to share with someone who doesn't have Action Recorder installed, you can export as a JavaScript file. Once you have exported as a JavaScript file, you can run it just like any other JavaScript in InDesign. So now we can close Action Recorder, grab a shape, and just double click our generated script. Thanks for watching. Please visit our website if you want to download Action Recorder.